Our mission is to give our competitors the tools to fulfill their max potential, and by sharing our conversations here from the masters of their craft. Sick.
All right, welcome to the Coach's Journal, Steve and Aaron.
Hell yeah, dude. Here we go, right?
Take two.
Yeah,
Take
they
two.
don't know that.
Nah, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, introduce yourself.
Okay, well, I am McLean. Oh, we're not doing last names. Anyway, whatever. I'm McLean Cowan. I'll fucking do it. I've been wrestling since 7th grade. So it's almost 20 years of wrestling, which is awesome. And been coaching with this guy for 12 years now. We're almost at 13.
Yeah.
And yeah, this podcast is something I've been super excited about, and getting our faces out there, our voices out there, just talking about coaching and bettering student athletes and bettering ourselves, and kind of focusing it around the hardest sport out there, wrestling.
I think so.
I'm excited.
Yeah. I'm Steven, and yeah, we've been coaching together for a long time. As I wasn't great as an athlete, and I think I started a little too late in the game, but for some reason just fell in love with the sport, and throughout the years, I think it's been the sport is what caught me, so that's what really drug me in, right? But then I think what kept me in was the people I met.
Oh yeah.
Oh
yeah.
I think what kept me in was really the character of dudes that I met, and my coaches.
You almost created a whole family.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And but then throughout the works of the athlete and coaching side, but I just love being a fan. I love watching it. I love the environment. I wish it would, it could be up there with some of the bigger sports, right? Like football, basketball, baseball kind of thing.
Yeah.
But I think with the way it's growing, it's got plenty of potential to get there.
Well, hopefully this podcast grows it even more.
That's why we're here.
That's why we're here.
That's why we're here. If we can help do that, amen, right?
Dude, that'd be a whole another goal setting thing. Yeah. Awesome. Be awesome.
I mean, odds are we might be doing podcasts about RAF. Who knows?
Dude.
Right? Little commentary.
Little real American freestyle.
Right. Give some reviews of how certain duels win or whatever.
And the fact that Fox owns them is so cool.
It's brilliant.
Perfect
it's
people.
About time that a huge telecasting network gets something that's wrestling.
Well, and then with that, the more wrestlers they get, the more teams they can create and do more duel-esque things versus a fight card. They can make teams. I know that's been attempted in the past, but I think the numbers weren't there.
Right. The regularity.
Yep. And I think the fight cards are big, but this isn't like UFC where you can really only fight once every 3 months, right? You can wrestle every weekend.
Yeah.
Obviously if we want the best wrestling, we want a little break and recovery for sure. But I think,
I know this isn't going into our stuff, but I'm just going off on it. If it were broken up into something similar like the football schedule, where every team is playing a game per week, but it's kind of split up based on that schedule. Every team has a bye throughout the season, right? Maybe with wrestling, it could be a similar structure, just shorter season. Maybe you get 2 byes or something, right, for more recovery. But nonetheless, to do a duel on Thursday and then come back and maybe you have to do another duel on a Monday.
Yep.
Or you did a duel on Monday and you have to do it on a Thursday.
Yep. Well, and you have the thing with wrestling, like you're saying, they can avoid schedule conflicts by doing it in the summer when there's only baseball to compete with, or Fridays and Saturdays.
Mm-hmm.
Saturdays is tough with college football, but Fridays.
In the summertime.
Summer, yeah. Dude. If wrestling was in the summer, that you'd have no one to compete with except baseball.
Right.
And baseball is easy to compete
And
with.
probably the only dudes that would be out of that would be the world team dudes. So you would still have a huge
Chunk of NCAA
of
champs.
talent that
Yeah.
you can make a team with.
World team dudes might wrestle still. Why not?
Why
If they get
not?
paid.
Right.
They just can't wrestle in August.
Why not? Right.
If we end the season in August, before August, they can still go wrestle worlds unless they get hurt.
Mm-hmm.
Injury would be the problem.
Mm-hmm. RAF, I hope you're listening.
Yeah, RAF. At RAF. What's your Instagram handle? We'll tag you.
Right. But yeah, just to get back on topic.
Back to why we're here.
I mean, we're not claiming we're the best. We just love wrestling, really. But we're just trying to talk about, we've had these conversations over, not just our coaching 12 years, but throughout our entire time of being in the sport. So, that's probably, 17 or so. But it's not the knowledge that we're trying to bring. Well, is just sharing our conversations. And we love, really, what kind of brought this up, right, was we wanted to talk. We love talking with other people about wrestling.
Oh, yeah.
And we love seeking out other coaches, other people,
other
who are in it.
ideas.
Yeah, and it's
Yep.
like, hey, tell us your story. Just bouncing these things off.
Like Mark, the Erie coach.
Yeah,
Van Tyne.
Mark Van Tyne, stud. There's so many, but just figured, hey, if we're gonna do it, might as well share.
Right. Well, and like to go off what you're saying is, we don't know everything about the sport of wrestling. The only person that might is Cale Sanderson, but I'm going to tell you right now, every year he's changing something up. He's growing he's growing as a person and a coach. So why not try to, record that journey for us, and go seek out people to talk to and interview and get their insight of wrestling and validate some of our things that we have of our ideas and validate our growth. It's huge. I feel like taking this journey is going to grow us as people more than just coaches.
Good. I hope so. And I hope that whoever's watching can pull something from what they hear.
No, screw the audience, man. It's about us. I'm only joking, guys. Only joking. Let's get to the podcast.
We're not claiming to be the best. We're only trying to become better every damn day. This is the Coach's Journal.
Welcome back from the break. I hope you enjoyed our ads from Fantasy Wrestling. And just kidding. I was asking this question.
Yep.
Okay, so we're going to start today off. Since it's our first podcast, we kind of want to break down our views on wrestling and coaching from our perspective, just a good starting point. So question for you, Coach Stephen. How has wrestling's core elements of discipline, perseverance, and community translated to your life lessons? More specifically, why is wrestling the ultimate life teacher, in your opinion?
It's in the wrestling world, we hear it all the time, so it kind of comes off as cliche now, but to a non-wrestler. But wrestling is just it's a life mimicker, right?
Mm-hmm.
It mimics life in a lot of different aspects, and in stress and not the stress levels, yes, but what's important is figuring out how to handle it. That's the part that you'll use in life, right? When you're beaten down or pushing through, it's not the hard push, because there's harder things in life than wrestling as far as your health and relationships, but it's the pushing through part that you can use through life, right? So it's a lot of the things that wrestling gives you a format in order, and if you approach it and attack it and you find your success through not the success in winning matches, but those little perseverances within the sport, right?
It's like a little ladder.
Yeah, and athletes who approach it in that way, I think they're the ones who get the most out of it, regardless of their win-loss record. I mean, I've seen dudes who didn't accomplish what they wanted to. A lot of people don't accomplish what they
Right.
want to accomplish, but I've seen dudes who really fell short, and but because they applied the lessons that were learned, not putting all of their identity on their successes, turned out, succeeded in far greater ways.
Mm-hmm.
And I've seen the opposite, where dudes had fantastic careers,
Especially in high school.
yeah,
Yep.
and fell off
Off the
map.
earth. Gone.
And not because they wanted to disappear, but literally just it seems like the same lessons or things that were contracted from this athlete weren't quite translated to this athlete, which is interesting because
Do you
it's the same
think-
sport.
Do you think that kids who were successful almost took for granted of the lessons?
It's
Some of the
possible.
kids, not all of them,
It's
obviously.
possible.
But just
Right.
like thinking when you were saying like this kid took the lessons and this kid didn't, but this kid won 4 state titles and then fell off the earth. This kid actually wrestled D1. Right? Like what? You know what I mean?
Yeah. What's the key? I'm not sure.
That's what we're here to find out.
Yeah, that's why we got to ask some people about that.
Right?
You know.
Do you have a personal story of a time where, I don't know, a specific practice, a specific tournament where, not that you fell short, but you remember walking away and like, I just learned X, Y, or Z. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I know it's a big question to ask, but like,
I don't know if I'd be able to remember the exact practice, but I know the exact feeling that you're talking about, and I certainly experienced that. I think a lot of those breakthroughs came they're always mid-season, right? So if you were to draw a graph of progression, they always came after the plateau. So
Yep.
there's this, right? Whatever you're starting or whatever, right? You kind of have this high growth curve, then you plateau, and sometimes you might even start declining. Right? But if you stay at it and keep working it, right? There's a time where it resets and you're back on the
almost
incline,
on that linear, almost on the linear where you
where you were
started,
at.
where you started plateauing.
Right.
I mean, let's take our kid for example, right? Worked his butt off all summer, blah blah blah. Almost wrestled too much, and we had to say, "Hey, take a step back."
Yep.
And he came out not as successful as he wanted, but mentally better.
Yep. And it made a difference.
And I think that plateau, that jump, is only coming for him,
Yep. It's
seeking him out.
because he was kind of on
The
this
decline.
downturn,
He was on
right?
the decline.
He was on the downturn.
And some kids will take that downturn and spiral downturn and never get out
Or quit.
or quit. Oof.
Yep.
I mean, broken hands.
Yep.
No, I agree. Like, just keep pushing. You got, I hate to use this cliche word, but relentless, right? Like, you and I are both very persistent people when it comes to, building friendships, building relationships, work, wrestling, coaching. We're very persistent. Like, we aren't going to give up easily. And I think we both got that from wrestling.
From wrestling. And that trait I do think is or can be inherent, not as in like you'd inherit it by DNA or but you're born with it, right? But it's that alone will not pass. If it's not nurtured and watered correctly, it'll fade away. And that's for the very few. All the rest of them, it's learned.
You got to just
Right?
keep going.
You just have to do it. You have to put yourself. I don't think I was born. I think was born with little drive. But if my parents weren't as supportive and I didn't have my friend group, I didn't have the teachers and the coaches that I had, I didn't have my community, it would have petered out before I was
Right.
5, maybe. It's very easy for it to be squashed if it's not properly
Oh,
watered.
dude, so easy.
You know.
Like looking at some of these, 5 or 6 year olds, turning, especially today's generation, like the gamers, excuse me, who are just on their computers gaming all the time. Like they didn't get motivated to go and pursue other. You know what I'm not trying. I'm getting too specific, but I think the watering and the it's huge, and no one see people take that for granted. Like some coaches that we've been around will. I told them to do this. Okay, well, keep telling them.
Yeah.
Like you gotta keep telling them. You almost have to be persistent at watering.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
You're the gardener.
you're the gardener. If you
Yeah.
stop watering because that sprout hasn't sprouted, well, the sprout will never sprout if you
Yeah.
stop watering. I mean, that's huge. Yeah, I mean, going based off of all of that, like, why, you know, saying be the gardener and water, even nurturing all of these things, like, why would we choose to be the gardener for these kids? Why are we coaching? I think that's a question for both of us. Like, why coach after wrestling? Neither of us were super successful. We loved our college careers. We got the best bros we have. I'll tell you, like, I decided to coach because I didn't want to leave wrestling. And I wanted to wrestle more because I was so bad at college. I was like, you know what? I'm going to go to high school and beat up on some kids. That was my first instinct. But quickly realized, like, there's a whole nother world.
It's a whole new side.
It's a whole new side.
Yeah.
And it's taken, I mean, it took about a year to really be like, no, I'm never stopping this. But I think it took 10 years to really realize the other side.
Yeah, I'd say so for sure.
Which is unfortunate. And I don't know if it was, I wish I had the view I have now 10 years ago with coaching. But we're still young. We can.
Yeah. I mean, just like we wish we knew what we know now as an athlete, right?
Yeah, that's true.
Like, we're always going to wish we...
Hindsight's 2020.
For sure. For sure. Yeah, while you were saying that, I was like, man, I wish I had 10 years as an athlete, right? Like,
right.
With 10 years as an
Dude,
athlete,
that's the thing.
10 years as coaching. Right?
Like wrestling, you only get a good 4 or 6 years
your
of good wrestling.
Limited.
Limited.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, Little League Wrestling just, I don't know, Colorado's Little League Wrestling has grown significantly from when we were little.
Yeah.
And, like, me starting in 7th grade, you wrestled in 6th grade and then 8th grade? When was your first?
My very first year was 2nd grade, and then 8th grade, and then sophomore.
Right. So, like, those gaps, right?
Yeah.
You saw the differences there. And, like, me starting in 7th grade, I saw the difference. And I was like, I'm so far behind. We had this huge learning curve to go up. It's crazy to think you only have 4 years to prove yourself. And then, obviously, like, people like Vince Cornella that we were lucky enough to coach, he's extended his career to that 10-year mark almost.
Yep.
Past high school. But, like,
yep.
And he will keep wrestling after college. But yeah, did you only get 4 years to show your stuff?
It's short. It's funny. And here's, kind of to not circle back completely, but a little bit to why is wrestling so important? Like, why, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I said how it's a mimicker of life, but here's where it doesn't mimic life is what sports really, but when you're doing sports, it's one of the only things, well, not one of the only, but very few things that you only have a certain amount of time to do. Everything else in life, you've pretty much got the rest of your life to do it.
Yeah.
If you didn't do it this year, keep trying.
Try next year. Yep.
Didn't do it, keep trying next year. You could try for 10 years. Try for 20 years. But
Sports.
sports specifically, you have in high school you got 4 years. In college you got 4 years eligibility.
Yep. 4 years eligibility.
You know,
No, it's true.
To accomplish your goals, you have a limited amount of time. If you make it to NFL, you still have unlimited as long as you're healthy and your team's doing good.
And you're doing good.
Yep.
They could cut you. They could cut you at any minute.
But if you're not, then
Right,
they cut
yeah.
you. But if you're doing good, you've got unlimited time.
Yep.
Right? But no matter how good you are in high school, you only have 4 years. No matter how good you are in college, you only got 4 years.
Yep. And with wrestling, before this RAF and other things, after college, if you weren't world level,
Right.
you're pretty much toast. And that's the thing about, like, baseball's also really hard to get into the pros, but baseball has MLB, AAA, AA, single A baseball.
Mm-hmm.
They got 4 different leagues going.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, not saying anyone it's easier to make them the majors, but a hell of a lot easier than
At
wrestling.
least you have a pathway.
Yeah, because wrestling, how many weights are there? World?
The world is
6?
10. And Olympic is 6.
That's what Olympic is 6.
Yeah.
So you got to be top 6 in your country to wrestle. But for baseball, you got to be top 100? I don't
Or at
even know.
least you got to be the top dude in your weight class, whereas you got to be the top 32 guy at your position on baseball.
Well, that's for MLB, but then you got AAA, AA, single A. So that's
you'd
why
be the top.
100.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then NFL, there's 52 guys on. Again, not saying it's easy to get to NFL, but us specifically talking about wrestling, to put it in perspective, to make the Olympic team, let's just say world team, let's go to the 10 weight classes. To make the world team, you got to be one of the top 10 wrestlers in the country.
In the country. Yep.
But to make NFL, you have 32 teams with 52 man rosters. Then you got CFL, you got XFL, you have all these other things to go try to make money. And that's why we think RAF would be huge. Like, we can give these kids yes, there's NIL money now. But wrestling still, I mean, if you're not going to Penn State, Ohio State, Iowa, you're not getting a shit ton of money. But if we can give these kids more of a carrot at the end of that stick, they might go wrestle for 15 years.
And I think, it is going that way. I think it is going that way.
Yeah.
It's just, man, it's a bummer. Wrestling's been so slow with the pickup.
One of the first
It is
sports
the first sport
in
on
the
Earth.
world.
Yeah.
On Earth.
On Earth.
Like,
the very
literally.
first sport. Wrestling was around before the wheel was invented. You know that?
We were wrestling back in the
Yeah.
caveman
Before
days.
the wheel was
Yeah.
invented, wrestling was around.
People were wrestling. What man could take down this man? Like, literally.
Cain and Abel? They're wrestling, dude. They're wrestling. Got him in a chokehold, but
But seriously.
killed him. But anyway, like,
Well, that's what it was. It was
wrestling.
wrestling to the death.
yeah.
Naked, too.
No, I think he busted his head with a rock.
Oh. Accidents happen.
Got that part out. 'Cause I don't- Actually.
Who cares? Comments come flooding. We want to learn at this podcast.
Hey, in the comments, put what you think happened to Abel.
Yeah. Can you please pull out the Bible? Where's the Bible? No, but seriously, like, that's the craziest thing.
Yeah, it's like the first sport, and we're so far behind.
So far behind.
Yeah.
Lacrosse is beating us.
I know.
Nothing against lacrosse. I'm just saying lacrosse is beating us. But you know what? Girls wrestling, I think, is going to help.
It's helped a lot. It's helped a lot.
Get the whole other gender to join
Right.
forces. And they almost like it more than some of the guys.
Yeah, they love wrestling.
Yeah.
And they're getting good.
They are getting good.
When they first, and I'm talking at the higher levels, right? Like, that's how you can really tell, of course, the physiological differences between men and women, and you can see that, women's soccer versus men's soccer. Some are faster, right? Women's track versus men's track. Like, they're faster, longer, further kind of thing, right? However, wrestling's very different. It's technical. right? Like, yeah, maybe men might be a little more explosive, but dude,
And
these
stronger.
girls are getting in the same positions and they're scrambling just as fast, just as hard. Not to mention they're more flexible.
Yep.
And so they're getting in some funky
That we
like,
can't.
some things that we're like, okay, where's the potentially dangerous on this?
Yeah.
You
Watch
know?
that knee. Watch that. Oh,
Like,
wait.
hello, hello, whoa! Like, watch our guy.
Can you imagine?
Watch our lady. You know?
Can you imagine trying to coach a girls match and like we would be in the corner freaking out at some of the positions they're in.
I'd have gotten coach's misconduct. How is that not potentially dangerous? You know?
Her leg is around her head. This is ridiculous. No, but that's a good point because like, let's say okay, so there's not a lot of women our weight, right? But there are weight classes up there. So let's say you were to wrestle Adeline Gray, right? With her 6 world titles and stuff, like she might give you a run for your money more than you would be expecting.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to.
Wouldn't even want to try it. I kind of would want to try it. Just like no recording, no one watching. Just like, all right, Adeline, let's see what you got. But it's weird because you do get in those positions and they know, they learn how to use their leverage more than their strength. They realize how to use their hips more than, pure explosiveness. Mm-hmm. Like it would be interesting to wrestle an elite girl wrestler because I don't like we can go if we did like Kyle Dake versus Adeline Gray, different story, right? But that's elite. But like even track stars, like there's all these videos of
right
men.
Well, in the Olympics now they got the co-ed
right. I think that's cool.
I think it's sweet.
I think it's sweet too.
I think it's sweet.
But like if you take an Olympic runner against, let's say our caliber runner ran in college, that kind of stuff, it's a pretty close race. Not all of them. I'm not taking the top world champ. Like that's just ridiculous. But like, you know what I mean? It's like you're saying comparable, where the man might be a little faster just because of physiological things. But wrestling, I don't know, man. I think I'm with you.
Yeah, with like just the way technique flows and
yeah.
the way wrestling is. They've caught up quite a bit. They're fun to watch.
They are fun to watch.
Yeah.
And I think...
And it's cool with girls is because they're all freestyle. So you're getting some, like, exciting matches.
Yeah.
They're not... I mean, in high school, yeah, they might...
Do they do folk in high school?
Actually, I think they do freestyle.
I think they do freestyle, too.
Yeah.
I want the whole world to go to folk style, but that's just my personal opinion.
They're scared, bro.
Of the mat wrestling.
Yeah, they're scared.
I think so, too.
It's not the mat wrestling. They'd learn it. I think they're scared of
the conditioning
of what it would take.
You hear that, Russia?
Yeah. Even though they're in great shape.
Dude, they are in great shape.
I think because it's a different kind.
It's a constant. You can't sit on bottom and defend a gut wrench for 15 seconds.
It's a continuous wrestling.
Yeah. I want folk style to come at least get on the world stage. Does it have to go Olympics? Maybe not, because then you're fighting. But like RAF, again, I know it's real American freestyle, but let's get Baju Rang to come on one of these fight cards.
Yeah.
Let's get what's the Russian that wrestled David Taylor? Sajalayev. Oh, he was Kyle Snyder, but yeah. Let's get Sajalayev over here. Why not?
Or that Iranian guy who wrestled David Taylor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's get those guys over here. Let's pay them $1 million to wrestle a freestyle match in, Ball Arena or some shit, Like, that would be sick.
That would be sweet.
It would be so awesome. But, we're just two men trying to start a podcast.
Shoot. And if they want to come over here and join a team, we do that with other people.
We do.
with professional sports.
Well, and that's
right?
so then my question for that, what's Russia paying the wrestlers to be on the Olympic team? What do you think they're getting paid?
I don't know, but same concept as for over here. They just keep their 10 guys on their Olympic team and
100%.
anyone else can come over here.
But I think it's the money says a lot, right? So like that's where if RAF gets there, where they can be like, hey, we can pay you $2 million a year. We're talking pennies compared to the NFL, the MLB. And obviously the money has to be there, right? RAF has to make the money to be able to pay these guys.
Yep.
But if we had $2 million a year to get Sajalayev to come and wrestle on a team, I don't see why you wouldn't.
I don't see.
unless they're like, don't tell them the secrets. That's another thing that I love about wrestling is when you get two wrestlers together and they're same competitive level, they can talk wrestling and learn.
Mm-hmm.
And I know football can do it too. Like Peyton Manning will go and coach a quarterback up and whatnot. Totally get that. Like it's not wrestling's not the only sport that does it. But man, because it's so individualized, like you can learn little tricks from watching one guy show a move or one guy telling you a move or something. And it's just
there's such a wide array of styles that you can
styles,
have
yeah.
within it, right? And within those styles, there's different moves that work. With that style better than others, right?
Like Bo Nickel's knee pick. Not everyone can knee pick like Bo Nickel.
Yeah. John Smith's low single.
Oof.
You know?
Yeah.
Freaking Kale Sanderson's
ankle pick.
Uh,
See, Bo couldn't do the ankle pick, but he sure did the knee pick. Kale's like, all right, you can't do the ankle pick like me, so just knee pick. Just hit that knee. Well, and then wrestling's always changing.
Yeah.
And that's the other thing. I think people are afraid to get into wrestling because they don't know anything. Football's kind of been, and we always go to football because it's just the most popular sport in America. But like, people watch football growing up. It's on every Sunday, every Monday, every Thursday, every Saturday, whatever, right? So they learn football. Wrestling, you have to watch and I don't think you can watch wrestling and learn to the same level you can learn football. I don't think you can learn wrestling from watching to the same level you can watch football and learn football. Does that make sense what I'm saying? Like if I watch a football play, let's just use a play, and I watch every position, I watch the play 22 times, so I watch everybody on the field over and over and over again. I can learn kind of what his role was in that play and kind of draw up that play. If you watch a wrestling match without ever wrestling, I think people would not know what's going on. And that could just be me.
What happens if you watch that match 22 times, though?
I mean, there's so much going on. Do you think if you saw, let's say you watched an arm drag 22 times, do you think you're going to know how he's moving his feet to move him? You know what I mean? Like we know that because we've wrestled it and we now have coached it. But I think watching UFC, I watch UFC all the time. Try to watch like the different submissions for jiu-jitsu and stuff like that. I don't think I could learn jiu-jitsu. Like I don't think I can I understand they're getting in locks, but the technique to get in those arm bars and in those chokeholds or whatever, I don't think I could see does that make sense?
See where the advantage turns.
Yeah.
Yeah.
By watching a UFC fight 22 times. Especially boxing too. Like the strategy in boxing now, like how it's very not aggressive. It's like all defensive and just get the points and stuff. I don't think I could learn it I would have to go do it. I mean, I never played football. You never played football. But we know football. You know what the goal is. You know, a juke here and not taken away from football. There's different nuances that we don't know from watching the plays that the coaches are doing. But I think that's more of like the background of how they're play calling to get in the coach's head. That's like a mind game between the coaches for play calling and different runs, different personnel. That stuff, of course, I'm not going to learn from watching. But if I just watched one play over and over, I think I could see how the offensive linemen are blocking, the defense linemen are pushing, which holes they're trying to get into. I think it's possible. That would be an interesting thing. Like,
it would be.
To get two people who don't know sports, watch this football play 22 times. Tell me what you thought. And then watch a takedown 22 times and tell me what he did.
Right.
See what they'd come up with.
It's definitely, I mean, yeah, I think you can definitely look at football and some other sports and get a better idea of what's going on. And with wrestling, it's so technical. But the great thing and a big reason of why it's the first sport, but it's all just a pure display of dominance, right? It's, can I control you before you control me?
Yeah.
And just like jiu-jitsu, it's what's our submission? The pin, right? And
Oh, what's wrestling submission? Or yeah.
yeah, right. Like that's the ultimate display of dominance. Is I've held you on the part of your body where you are the most
Vulnerable.
helpless for 3 seconds, which is long enough. If I wanted to kill you,
Yeah.
I could kill you,
Yeah.
right? Like that's what it's displaying, and that's very easy to watch, right? Like anyone can watch that and be like, oh,
Well, in the UFC, I think
right?
it's
Like
helped
okay, I
wrestling.
just saw him start like this, and now I saw him end like this,
Yeah.
and I can tell who won. I
Right.
can tell what happened.
Yeah.
I don't know how he did it, but I can tell that dude just got whooped.
Yeah, and I mean I think UFC's helped wrestling in that sense because a lot more people are watching UFC. So can RAF become some? UFC's helped wrestling grow because a lot of UFC fighters say what they have to learn wrestling before they can go to UFC.
Well, because the majority of the belt holders now are wrestlers.
Right, that too. But then does that hurt something like RAF because now they're competing directly against UFC?
No, I don't think so because it's a different sport. Yeah.
In some eyes.
It's still a combat sport, but it's I mean it'd be like saying that that UFC is taken away from boxing, or
I think it is though.
and it could be, but it's still a different sport. So it's
Like
okay,
boxing
so
dropped
then
off.
now, you know, the football took it away from rugby.
Yep.
You know.
And I don't think rugby can ever come into America. I'm being
Not the way
cynical.
it is in Europe.
Yeah, but I think rugby's better than football.
Yeah, I think so too.
Sevens. I don't know. I don't think I've watched enough of the full whatever the full rugby is, but the Olympic rugby sevens or it's 7-on-7 because I think full rugby is 10-on-10 or something like that. But sevens is awesome to watch, and they're 45 minutes. It's like boom,
Yeah, that clock's running.
and it's awesome.
Yeah.
There's no stoppage time. There's confusing parts. Don't get me wrong, but man, watching rugby is fun. I wish
Yeah, I got respect for those dudes. Those dudes are sweet.
those dudes are sweet. I wish America had a rugby league.
I know.
Like a
Yeah.
professional rugby league. I think it is growing, but it's that slow
See,
pace.
rugby might be in a similar position as wrestling, right? Kind
Yeah.
of like what we're talking about. They're badass. It's a badass sport. Just hasn't
Hasn't
got off the ground
yeah.
here in America.
Do we
But
need
in
like
Europe, it's a lot different.
do we need like a billionaire
See, in other
investor?
countries, wrestling's a lot bigger too. So what the heck are we doing wrong, man? What the heck are we doing wrong?
Shit, our founding fathers wrestled.
Our best sports are outside of football, just because, but they also got pads. But
NBA.
like, yeah, we got NBA and MLB.
Oh, dude, this podcast is gonna be a
Thank
hate
goodness
speech
we got
on.
hockey to like add some physicality, right?
What do you mean? NBA is a contact sport.
Yeah. Yeah.
Have you seen some of those fouls?
I have. They're gnarly, man.
They're so gnarly, dude. I mean, I would. Yeah, I don't get it either, dude.
So like other countries, like wrestling's, and I'm not saying it's their biggest, because soccer's huge all over the world, right?
It's the biggest.
Cricket is
It's huge in India,
right?
Yeah,
Like,
Jinx, you owe me a beer.
you got these other things, but why are those two sports bigger in the rest of the world, but not here?
And why is football not big in the rest of the world? Football's trying hard too.
They are trying.
With their London series,
trying
their
real
Brazil
hard.
game, so hard.
Yeah.
They're doing it. People
They
are
are
showing
doing
up to the games.
So the world needs to do that here in America.
Literally. But they are. I mean, World Cup's coming here.
In Vegas.
No, it's so it's the World Cup, so it's all over the country. So like Denver's hosting a World Cup game. Seattle, I think, is hosting.
You're talking soccer.
Correct.
Got it.
What do you think I was talking?
Wrestling World Cup.
Oh no.
And that's in Vegas.
Oh okay, yeah.
Yeah.
No, wrestling does come here, but that's the thing about wrestling because it's done in a weekend. The World Cup is like a month-long thing. You got group play, then the bracket play, then the finals, and it's all spread out.
Mm-hmm.
That's a month of
That's another
consumption.
thing. So World Cup, that's a tournament. So I think wrestling
That's a
really
tournament.
to build us, to get us out, is we got to get out of the tournament setting. It's awesome to watch the best guys go against the best guys, but for duration, right? Like, so World Cup, month long. You're still seeing the best guys, but you only get to see. It's not all the best guys on one team competing against each other in one time. It's you're seeing Messi with this team and Ronaldo with this team and whoever with this team
Oh, I see what you're
over
saying.
throughout the month,
Mm-hmm.
right? Whereas the
You would
World
see
Cup
Messi and
wrestling,
Ronaldo at
I get to
once.
see all my favorite dudes wrestle each other, right? Essentially in their weight
Yeah,
classes, and then in a weekend, which is totally awesome.
it's a great weekend.
But now you just blew your wad with all of your talent. So what are we gonna do? Run the same tournament back next
Steven, this is
weekend?
a child-friendly podcast. You can't say blow your wad. No, but seriously, like, yeah, maybe we do get away from the tournament setting, but then, so the world, because um, it's not the world. Is it called the World Cup? The wrestling? I don't think it's called the World Cup
There is a world.
because they have the team. You still wrestle as a team, like U.S., but it's tournament based. So it's how you do in your bracket. You get points for your team, and then it's not duels.
Maybe.
But I agree because the duels would be awesome. You get to see Kyle Dake wrestle everybody at one weight versus three guys at that weight.
Right.
You get to see David Taylor wrestle every single guy at that weight, not just three guys.
Right.
And that's similar with if we go soccer, Messi may not go against Ronaldo. We clearly don't know soccer players. But Messi, because they're both retired, but Messi and Ronaldo may not play each other in the World Cup. But Messi plays the group play, which is 3 games, then the tournament play, which is another 3 or 4 games, if they keep winning, right? Same with Ronaldo. So you get, 12 games out of each guy. And if they play each other, that's a bonus. But with like Dake or David Taylor or Jordan Burroughs, if they win everything, they wrestle 4 matches.
Yeah.
And they're only
And then
7
let's
minutes
just say
long.
that's a qualifier, so they get to go on to the next weekend, but I don't get to see the rest of his teammates. I only get to see
Right.
the dude that qualified there.
Yeah.
Whereas,
Like Gilman,
let's
if he
say,
doesn't, yeah.
it's in a duel. Let's say it's neck and neck, and your heavyweight loses, so now your team's out, right? Well, you can have the same thing on a football. Your kicker misses his, last the extra point, and you lost by 1 point. So now your team's out and doesn't go to the playoffs. So you don't get to see your favorite guys just like you would in a duel setting.
Right.
But this tournament setting is great because we still get to see our guys move on, but I'm not seeing, and it burns out the ability that the playoffs with football and the World Cup have, where they can stretch all their stuff out for a longer time.
Well, and it's a team, so if you have a favorite player on every team, you'll always be happy to watch football.
Yeah.
If you have 10 favorite wrestlers, you may not get to see any of them.
Right.
If they all lose.
Yeah. Or yeah. So I don't know. I mean, we kind of trailed off there, but
we are not on our schedule at all. But that's okay because
no, that's good.
I think to try to bring it back to our podcast, wrestling needs to grow, clearly. And us as coaches are kind of the only ones to help it grow because the athletes need to focus on wrestling. Competing. And we need to focus on how to get these kids to compete at their max potential to engage people to watch this kid at his max potential.
Right.
And then on the side, we can, curate tournaments or trips, vacations, all this kind of stuff. But so that's where it comes in as a coach of what needs to be done for us as coaches to get these kids to their max potential in the sport of wrestling. And then on the side where we dovetailed, what can we do for the sport of wrestling to, how can we format it?
Right.
But to go back to this schedule we tried to write, but that personal potential, that max potential, right? How do we get a kid to do it? We have to somehow push them to that wall, right? We have to water that persistence, like you were talking about, water that motivation and get them, because the only person to hit a wall, the only person to hit, oh God, what am I trying to say? For us, the only person who can hit that wall is the kid, is the athlete. We can't hit the wall for them,
Mm-hmm.
right? In other sports of coaching, like baseball, other team sports, we can draw up plays for the team to hit their potential.
Mm-hmm.
But for a coach as a wrestler, it is all up to that kid to hit that wall and break through that wall. And, to go off personal experience, like, it's that, who told us wrestling's 80% mental, 90% mental? Was it Pace?
Yep.
R.I.P. Could never have been truer, right? Like, because kicker misses the field goal. They lose. Baltimore Ravens. They're done. Took one player to miss that. However, why did the Ravens not score a touchdown instead? Why didn't they, all of the things.
Mm-hmm.
For a wrestler, if you lose the match, you get headlocked in the last 10 seconds, you're up 10. It's all on you, right? And if you didn't push yourself in practice that week to go through the wall, you lost that match 2 days prior, kind of thing. And so, but you also can't push them too much where they quit, because it's a gruesome sport. So as coaches, we have to find that balance of getting these kids to their true limits in a healthy manner. And I think that's kind of what we've kind of sought out to learn with this.
Yeah. So, 90% mental, and that's the trick. Going back to why wrestling's so important is because not only is it a mimicker of life, but these little things allow you to, the situations you get within the wrestling career are such easy ways, or very convenient ways. I wouldn't say easy, but convenient ways to learn mental skills.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And then
you get put in positions to learn that mental skill.
Yep.
Instead of, hey, you're at your office, learn some mental skills. Yeah, not gonna happen.
And the ones like discipline and perseverance, like all the buzzwords, right?
Hashtag.
But they are legitimate, and just by nature of the sport, you get to experience those right off the bat, right? Like surface level.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like you have to be in it for a long time before you.
You get it the first practice.
Day one.
Hand fighting, go.
Yeah. Whether you're a veteran or what, man. You're getting it day one, right? So
yeah,
mentality is huge, and I think so. We've been reading some books, right? Been reading some books on exactly that. Is like that, the mental side, and how it plays into performance, why it plays into performance, and why it's so crucial over
training,
right? And not that you substitute some of the things that are tried and true in your training for the mental, but you have to approach the mental just as you approach your training. They have to be approached similarly, if not more, on the mental side. Then
Right. I'm glad you can squat 450. You worked your body to that limit.
Why is he sprawling on you?
Yeah. right.
I thought you could squat 450.
Right.
Yeah.
No, and that's the thing that, this journey that we talk about of us in this podcast and trying to learn, like reading these books, it's changed my whole outlook. Like the last, like not to throw myself under a bus, but last couple tournaments, I've almost taught no technique to the kids. It's been after their match, like I'll tell them, after the match, we've approached it so differently, just knowing how, like we've been told since day one of wrestling, high school, we'll go to freshman year. We've been told wrestling is 90% mental. Well, we've never been told how to approach that mental side. We've
Correct.
just always been told, oh, it's 90% mental. Hey, your head's not in the game. Hey, none of this. But
Yeah,
no.
so you're thrown out in basically a desert, and you have no
Yes.
idea what to do. It's an entire
Yes.
wilderness, and you do not know how to survive and sustain yourself.
No. And so this year, for whatever reason, we've decided to do this podcast and read some books. It has opened my mind so far open of, holy shit, wrestling is 90% mental. And getting these kids to buy into it early and often, like we're not claiming to see that we're state champ team by any means, but just the small improvements that took us years to get kids to do prior is
We're now getting freshmen to do things that it took
their junior year
to get
before
to.
they did.
Yep.
And not just technique wise, getting ready for a match.
Right.
Like, dude, when we went over just like the 15-minute warm up,
Yeah.
and you drew it on the board,
Yeah.
that was insane. Because I'm sitting there thinking, like, we had to do that on our own. And I'm not saying that's not bad for a kid to, but it took us to learn what was our routine to get ahead of, to get ready for a match.
Just to get an edge.
Just to get an edge.
Yeah.
These kids, not knocking the generation, but they're kind of a little on the softer side, don't know that at all. Because they're not all spoon fed, but they're used to the spoon feeding of knowledge.
Mm-hmm.
And they're never going to sit down, see themselves lose 5 matches in a row and be like, I think I need to get a routine in before I wrestle a match. But you were able to lay out the simple step of when do you put your headgear on? When do you take your shirt off? Because none of our kids are ready. How many kids, hey, you're up. Oh, and they're throwing their straps on. They're getting, where's my headgear? Yo, Jake, where's my headgear? Oh, yeah.
I really think the match is about to start, man. Yeah.
And they're going out there and it's like, well, I don't even need to do an eye test. My eye test is your franticness right now. You aren't ready at all. So like when you laid that out, I was like, and even our boy Carlucci was like, guys, this seems silly, but it's not. It's like the 5 of us coaches, just did it on our own. Because I don't recall a coach ever telling me, hey, what's your routine? I could be wrong. And if I am wrong, coaches.
We were told to get a routine, and we were taught that it helps, but we weren't shown a blueprint. And
just a template.
Yeah,
just a template. Just a template. All we needed was a template. And like when you were going over your template, I was like...
And it's not that it's bad, because it is different for every kid, right? So it makes sense that a coach wouldn't want to, hey, this is how you do it. Bop, 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 bop.
But a template is different.
But to at least have a structure, because some, like us, right? Hey, it's all mental. Well then, okay, well, it's about my mind. So do I start 5 minutes? I mean, literally, our guy who we needed to give a break, this weekend, he's like, in between each match, hey, when should I go start warming up? I'm like, so he was even asking before each match about when to start his pre-match routine. And so just to give them something where now they can do, be self-sufficient.
And
and when they can do that, that's another thing that carries on through life, right? They figure that one out, they can apply it, because there's literally only a handful of things in life that give you the type of nerves that a wrestling match does.
What is it? The 5 matches to state?
It's like, might be your wedding, public speaking of any type, and...
Which is your wedding, too. Wrestling.
I mean, that is not much.
Dude, I'm telling you, like, you made a good point of wrestling gives you those opportunities to have your body and mind reach limits. And I joked that day 1 of practice, but it's fucking real. Because like when you're getting taught a stance, you're uncomfortable. You're uncomfortable. You have no idea what you're supposed to feel like, and the coach is kind of teaching it, and you're like and then your legs are getting sore, your back's getting a little hurt because you're overarching, like all of these things, and it's painful from the get-go. And then they throw in hand fighting, and you're just like, why am I getting hit in the face? It's like, oh, well, you don't have to get hit in the face if you know how to, like, flow. It's insane. Instantly, the sport pushes you. Yeah. Football, you put pads on. You might look dorky running and get hit pretty big, but it's like, oh, I got hit pretty big once, every 6 seconds. Again, I'm not trying to hate on football because football is tough in different ways, but that constant 2-hour practice of you're learning technique, you're pushing your body, and you're mentally tired. All in
it's
one.
A 3-in-1.
All for 2 hours.
Yeah.
It's insane. I mean, mentality and performance was our next topic. Like,
I mean, sorry, this is a little
tidbit.
Yeah, tidbit. But, like I said, wrestling's the oldest freaking sport.
Yeah.
Jacob wrestled with God.
You get commenters.
And you can check that one.
Comment down.
Comment who won. Who you think you won. What do you think the score was? Comment in the bottom.
Yeah, speaking of the Bible, dude. Speaking of the Bible and competition, this one always cracks me up when this guy I was watching on Instagram, he brought it up. And
no, the guy I think broke a rib.
Oh, really?
Just because Jacob wouldn't stop wrestling.
That boy
Jacob.
He was
persistent.
Relentless.
Some versions of the Bible say God, but most versions say it's an angel. So it's really an angel. But yeah,
angel lives in, or God lives in everyone.
He was almost still wrestled him all night.
24-hour match.
And he wouldn't quit. So then the angel broke his rib and
broke Jacob's rib.
Yeah, made him quit.
No, but speaking of the Bible,
it's probably a hard gut. Dude.
Yeah,
the hardest guts you've ever
the hardest gut wrench of all time.
Dude. 5-point throw. Oh, nasty.
Fuck.
Wish you could have seen that one, huh?
No, dude, speaking of the Bible and competition, every Easter Sunday they have to tell this verse. But it's the verse, so it's in John, right? And in the verse it says, they were running to Jesus' tomb to see the rocks had turned over. So they're sprinting, right? And John writes, the other disciple beat Peter. So basically, in John's writing, and the other disciple was John. So John just wrote in the fucking Bible, I beat you in a foot race to Peter.
Dude, talk about salt on the wound. Peter was already in a bad place. Dude, Peter was already in a bad place. And he is sprinting there to try to make up for it. You know it.
Yeah.
And John is just like,
I beat you.
Oh! Nasty.
I beat you. And it's said every year on Easter Sunday, that verse. God. And he wrote it, right? But he puts the other disciple.
Yeah, he did say, I beat him.
Yeah. Baller. Straight up. No, every time I see that Instagram, I just laugh because even then there was a little edge, man. Little edge between. I like it. Kind of a little competition. Anyway, back to mentality and performance. So, we have these practices. You fight your mentality day one, and then performance happens, right? You go to a competition, win or lose. We've noticed how you react to your matches affects you greatly. And so...
And it's your immediate reaction,
yeah.
too.
So it's like you have these two sides, right? You have this, when you win, do you over celebrate and be a little cocky motherfucker? Or when you lose, you throw your headgear like a little bitch. Those are the extremes, right? And you have to find this in between that works for you to stay focused. Because you could honestly tell, how do I say this? Dan Gable. What was his goal? What do you think Dan Gable's goal was in his last college wrestling match? Do you think it was to go undefeated and win that? Do you think that was his end goal?
Yeah, I don't think.
Because he loses, right?
Does he mention this in his book?
No. Well, he might actually, but I haven't read it yet. I haven't read this one yet.
It's been a couple years since I've read it, and then he does go over that, and he does also go over. Specifically that year with, is it Larry Owens? Larry Owens, I think.
No name now. Who's the name you remember? That,
Right, for sure, right. Um,
but it's how you.
but also that's a whole nother story. I mean, like Larry Owens is a whole nother coaching chapter,
Right.
right? That's a icon.
Yeah.
What happens when you're faced with the
Dan,
guy?
the guy.
You cower,
Or do you go out and beat him?
right? And how do you tell yourself that you're going to go beat him? Because Larry, like, just had just this calm and this confidence, and he does go in. I don't know if it's that one or his next one, but he does go into depth on. He kind of felt a little psyched out about like Larry was
mentally got him, huh?
playing some mind games.
No shit.
Yeah, and because back then, it's newspapers and radio, so that's kind of how they're getting their communications out. But, Larry steps into that match.
I found it. Larry Owens
dialed in and accomplished something that was, in everyone's eyes, unaccomplishable. And so that right there is a whole piece that I would love to bottle up and put it in the Kool-Aid and have every athlete that I coach drink it, because that is the key of what we're talking about, the mentality.
Right.
Well, Dan Gable's the key too of longevity, but Larry Owens is the key of, well, when you're met with Goliath, how are you going to step on the line?
Yep.
Right.
Well, so I'm going to go off that in a sec. So it's funny. He writes, Owens beat me 13-11, though I later went on to win gold medals at 1971 World Championship and 1972 Olympic Games.
The other disciple beat him.
Yeah, basically, yeah. But to your point of Larry Owens being a whole nother chapter of coaching, Austin DeSanto beating Spencer Lee, who was trying to go undefeated in Pennsylvania.
After he got teched the last time he wrestled him.
Goes out and beats him.
I mean, you talk about a turnaround.
Dude, and then talk about a turnaround. He's committed to Drexel, so he has to go to Drexel. And he has kind of an all-right season, does an All-American. He transfers to Iowa, and it's a completely different man.
Yep.
DeSanto was a different human being when he went to Iowa.
Yep.
He wasn't a punk. He wasn't trying to hurt people. He just went out and wrestled the Iowa brand.
And you could see it.
You could see it instantly. And what, he All-Americaned 3 times? I don't remember.
I can't remember. More, yeah, at least 2 for sure.
But he was in every match. He wasn't like some pud, right? He gave RBY a good look every time.
I mean, that was an awesome rivalry.
Yeah.
That they had.
But that guy,
Dayton Fix.
not saying,
Dayton Fix.
Yeah, like not saying DeSanto wasn't a prospect coming out of high school, but I mean Drexel, that was his only college coming after him. He beat Spencer Lee. Goes to Drexel like a good kid versus, I mean, nowadays, like transfer portal and all that shit, but goes to Drexel, doesn't work out there, and just, didn't let...
Found his path.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All because of one match.
Now that's a kid that loves wrestling.
Dude, and he's in RAF.
Yeah.
He did get tossed pretty good by NATO.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah.
NATO was in it, huh?
Yeah.
Good for him.
NATO is
Was he on par?
Well, so you know how Austin wrestles very and like fast. NATO matched it, and DeSanto couldn't keep it.
Ooh, see? Match intensity, right? Match the pace.
Wait, stop. You can't be saying stuff that our kids don't do when we tell them to do it.
Hey, kids, if you're watching, that's why you match the pace. And
match the pace.
Gotta match it.
No, I mean, it's crazy because, like, mentality, Dan Gable loses. He could have just been done. Like, I lost this match. I didn't get... That's why I don't think his goal was that. I didn't keep reading, but like he went to go win Worlds and Olympics the next year and the year after. If he wins that, you can go so many paths off of a win or loss. You lose, you go down. You lose, you try to get better.
Yeah.
You win, you are content with staying the same. Or you win, you're like, nope, that's not my goal. I'm going to the next, right? So it's that mentality, the whole. So the book I'm reading, Relentless, right now. Relentless. I keep saying the word, but goes into don't worry about the result. Just go do you. And guess who you are? What we always tell the kids. You're the badass motherfucker. You're the best. You're the one who's going to win. You're the one who's going to take him down. You're the one who's going to shoot and score. He's going to shoot, you're scoring. So if you just go in with the identity and you just go in, you're like, no, I'm going to do what I want to do and I will be successful, and just leave the result out of your mind. Calm mind.
Yep.
And then
that's the hard one to teach, but that is the key. It's just so hard to.
Injuries too.
So hard to do.
How do you deal with injuries?
Yeah.
How are you going to deal with an injury? Are you going to quit or are you going to go? Kid we had a couple years ago tears his ACL playing our favorite sport, football. They say surgery or wrestle on it. He decides to wrestle on it, and he ends up winning a state title.
Mm-hmm.
And then goes and wrestles at Iowa State.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Spencer Lee wins an NCAA championship with 2 torn ACLs. Like, do they have some screws loose? Maybe, and that's, gives them the edge. But, damn, don't let the things that would knock everyone else down, don't let that knock you down.
Yep.
Push forward.
ACLs are for wusses, dude.
I know, isn't that what Spencer said?
Yeah.
Like, and then, given back to the life mimicker, like, you have a bad day at work. Your boss gets on you about something stupid. What are you going to do? You're going to let it affect your job the next day?
Right.
Or are you getting the task done? Or you're just going to get through it and have that mentality of, I'm good at this job. I'm going to get this job done.
Going back to the dude, right? Once you wrestled, everything else is easy.
Oh, my God. Some people get offended when you say that. Like
wrestlers or non-wrestlers?
No, non-wrestlers. Wrestlers do not get offended.
Makes sense why they get offended.
Yeah. They're like, oh, well, it's like...
No, I've done some hard shit. There's only... I go back to my handfuls. But there really is only a handful of things that I think are equally as tough or would give you a similar mental strain. And that's something in the military, right? Hardcore...
Navy SEALs.
Right? Force type.
Mm-hmm.
And I would even... I mean, I don't know, because I'm not even going to touch that, actually. I'm just going to leave that there. But, like, that and...
You can't think of something.
The only other type that you would is if it comes from internal.
Right.
Right?
Or, like, you could go, like, MMA, like, UFC.
Yeah,
like,
okay, yep.
You could do other combat sports.
Totally hard training.
But again, where do most of those guys come from?
Right.
The wrestling community.
Wrestling. Yeah.
So, like, yeah, it got harder because they can punch you.
But UFC. Really, like, outside of those things, so if you didn't wrestle, but you did one of those other 2 or 3 things, I'd say absolutely, because you did that, everything in your life is going to be easier than what you just experienced. If you apply those same stress mechanisms that you use for that to your life.
Yeah.
Wrestling, but you're not going to get that unless you join the military.
Mm-hmm.
Or you intrinsically apply it on your own. Or you wrestle.
Just go wrestle.
Just go wrestle. It's easier that way.
Just everyone join wrestling. I swear, we make it sound scary, but dude, it's not. How fun.
It's so fun.
Dude, and the thing I love about wrestling, so our coach that we coach with, Carlucci, his other son was wrestling and got hurt last year, right? So he's fighting the same thing his older brother had, but not ACL, but bad knees. He's dealing with that, and he's getting good, right? He's getting bigger. He's pushing our cardio, right? Because we're out of wrestling shape, which is whatever. We're coaches. But I was wrestling the other day, and his dad comes up to me after practice when we were doing the match routine stuff, and he's like, "Hey, I need you to go live with him." And I'm like, I need to get home, but he's like, "Oh no, if you're too tired, like I confess." I was like, I actually felt good. Like, I was like, no, I want to go wrestle him. And like, that's the thing wrestling does is you're tired, but when you get tired, you have those like that runner's high.
Yep.
Runners say they get it. You get wrestling high sometimes.
You
And
do.
it's a way different high
You
than
do.
a runner's high. I never really got the runner's high. I never felt it, I should say. Some people say it's, orgasmic or whatever, but like, no, this wrestling high, like, I know it's a high school kid, but I'm out of shape. I was wearing a sweatshirt the whole day, wrestling in it. But I was like, no, I want to go. I had that
Get
just
the burn.
that quick
Yeah.
little sweat going, and you get it working out too. How many times you do a hard workout and you walk out of the gym and you're like, man, I feel good. I could go do whatever. And you're like in this. It's a complete mood change.
Yep.
And if you embrace that, fight through that wall. I mean, there's days of practice we're laying on the mat in high school. We're exhausted, but we're just like, this feels awesome. Like, I just pushed my body farther than I thought I could.
Yeah, there is an awesome feeling after a hard practice or a hard workout. It's the endorphins, right? Like, thank goodness we were designed that way, where it feels good, because we would never work hard if it didn't feel good
Right.
afterward, right? But
We designed.
it doesn't feel good getting up to it.
Oh no, it's the
Right?
worst
Just
part.
like you were saying, yeah, it doesn't feel good, but you have to push through that, and when it's done, and you have pushed it or drained the tank or whatever, right? It's those endorphins, and thank goodness that the physiological effects work that way, the biology, right? Yeah, I was actually feeling that today.
Just good.
Yeah. So all year, actually, this year is the least amount I've wrestled since I've been coaching.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so then when I do get called out to go wrestle, it's like, hey, can you go live this for this match? So I'm going cold, right?
Cold.
And haven't wrestled
Right.
all season. So then I get in and, I'm going through a period and I'm tasting colors.
Who'd you wrestle? Wait.
Huh?
What weight did you like?
I'm just saying in general.
Oh.
Like, I go out there and I'm tasting colors, right? and it was today. So that happened like the last few times that I've wrestled over the last couple weeks. So I've only wrestled a couple times. But then today, going back to what you're saying, is I felt that high. And that's where, I'm not in it for beating up the high schoolers.
No.
Now that I'm older, it's can I last 2 minutes?
Right.
And it feels good, right?
Oh, it feels so good.
So anyways, yeah, today got that high, like the shape was coming back a little bit, and it's just like, ooh, today was a nice day.
Dude, and like
It
to your
was
point
fun.
of like not kicking the kid's butt, it's not about that. It's forcing the kids into positions that they need to work. Like, that's a whole side of coaching that we could even touch on a whole nother podcast.
Oh yeah, we could talk about
Like,
that one for a minute.
that takes energy. Because it's like, oh, we know this kid needs to work legs, so I need to fucking throw legs in. And so
Dude,
your
sometimes I
energy...
get more tired wrestling the lighter weights than I do the heavier weights.
Right. Because you're trying to get them in... And you're trying to keep your weight off of them.
Right, and I'm trying to match their pace, their speed, be quick, but also not use my weight.
Yep.
I'm trying to literally dial my weight down to as close to their weight as I can and use technique and match their speed.
Yep.
But then the bigger guys, it's not because their technique is bad. It's like, no, they're a little bit slower, and I can use all my muscle.
I have to use all my weight.
But also because if they're bigger than me, I have to use crisper technique to handle that weight.
Yep.
And it's just a click slower, and I'm not adjusting my weight and their weight.
I love wrestling the big boys because of that. You get to
Yeah.
use more of your weight to...
leverage.
But you still got to put them in positions that other heavyweights are going to put them in, right?
Yep.
We can't be shooting low singles
No.
or sweeps on them,
Right.
right? You got to...
I'm not scrambling with these guys.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's...
Diving over and passing an ankle, Like,
Can you imagine? We have a heavyweight.
heavyweights do that, but not our heavyweights.
Not our heavyweight.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, we have a heavyweight that's all of the 285
Oh,
that he's
100%
allotted.
285.
And he's just learning now. He's a football player, offensive lineman. And so like I find it funny. Sometimes I'm coaching them. I'm like, all right, so how can I put this in football terms? Because you only know football. I don't know shit about offensive linemen, but I was just trying to teach him an inside tie because he kept going outside. I'm like, hey, so when you're blocking, correct me if I'm wrong because I have no idea. If if the defensive lineman comes in inside me, I've already lost the battle. Because if I grab outside, it's holding, right? And he's like, yeah. I was like, okay. So then we need to get in here because you can kind of hold here. I know it's legal in football. This is where you need to live. Like, you can't let him inside, right? Just like football. And I think it clicked on him. I don't know if it was like he did better, but his partner's not, That's the other thing is finding partners for these kids that match their weight. Because we can wrestle anyone in the room and give them the look they need sometimes, right? Most of the time, I should say. But, some of these kids, when the next kid up to wrestle our heavyweight is 190 pounds some days, like, not much work for that guy.
Yeah.
So dealing with that is always tough. So then we're wrestling them. I mean, it's interesting. And it's so fun. This year's been so fun with the mental aspect kind of guiding us more. Because like you said, you're not wrestling as much. I'm not coaching as much. Not practice, I'm doing about the same what I've always done. But like at tournaments, I'm not coaching as much. I'm sitting on the side letting you coach, trying to figure out, asking more questions, right? Asking these kids like,
You're studying.
I'm a detective, according to you and Cole.
Fucking Sherlock Holmes over here.
Fuck
dude.
yeah. Hey, it worked. You got shit done. But, asking the questions of like, hey, well, and especially with that one kid, like we have to figure it out. And so, but asking the questions to the kids that I think we were never asked has been very rewarding to hear responses. And hopefully I'm reading the kids right, but hopefully their responses, what I've noticed is it's clicking in their mind that they aren't practicing what we're preaching. But then they do start to practice what they preach, and then they respond accordingly to our questions, and it's kind of huge. Kids telling us like, oh yeah, I wasn't mentally prepared for that match. Why not?
Right, I know. That was
huge. And he won that match still.
Yeah.
But he still came to you and said, I did not.
Right.
He still won and still was like, I was not where I needed to be for that match.
Mm-hmm.
We do want to push the reflection more after the competition, actually. But so like it was perfect, right? Because we don't want people reflecting too much in between matches at competition because it can go really poorly if they react poorly.
You just need to find the key adjustments. And it's like one or two.
Barely, yeah.
Yeah.
Right. One or two adjustments.
And typically it's the very first thing. Like whatever, if you could somehow draw a time, or a line, and you've got your pre-match routine and your match and everything that's in between there and your post-match, like typically that one adjustment's going to be way over here.
Or like at the very beginning of the match or the very end of the match.
Like you can fix your technique stuff, but typically whatever happens in it's
we can work
up front that didn't quite get right.
What we can work on in competition.
And once you get that dialed in, then this part
is easy because of practice.
Yeah.
It's already been done.
Yeah.
You know all the moves. I mean, that's a good way to put it. Maybe like to focus during competition on coaching, not necessarily, but focusing on the mental and prep aspect. And then after the competition, focus on the technique fine-tunement,
Right, because the mental's done and it's out of the way. There's no...
They're ready to learn.
Yep.
Hopefully.
Now, and the match is done, so now we're just working on where you lost in.
It's that self-1, self-2 thing.
Yeah.
Because self-2 should be your match. The only person I want in wrestling your match is your self-2.
Yep.
Being your flow state, your reaction, your automatic movements,
the unconscious.
The unconscious,
right.
Subconscious, we should say.
Subconscious.
But yeah, your subconscious is wrestling your match.
The unconscious.
Just out.
Wrestle unconscious.
Dude,
That'd be awesome.
that would be hilarious.
Hey, wrestle unconscious
Yeah.
out there.
Yo, go be unconscious.
Let your unconscious take control. Dude.
We should say that to some of the
That's
kids to
funny.
screw with them.
That's funny.
But yeah, we want them to wrestle their subconscious and then their conscience to get to the subconscious. So during competition, can't work on subconscious. That's like long-term, short-term memory stuff.
Yep.
We can only work on the conscious level at competition.
Yep. Yep.
Some kids obviously might be able to take some of the tidbits like the but the fine-tunements are things we could yell, like we can tell them before a match or like in the in-between, and then when they're in the match we can yell that fine-tuned adjustment as a reminder, and then they would do it then. Does that make sense?
100%. And that is super effective and is totally the way that it should be done.
And easy.
Right? You
When
just
have
got to
you-
get past that. And there's plenty, and the elites are there, right? I'm not talking the Olympic level. I'm talking even at the high school level. The elites are there. There's still some mental stuff with some of them.
Mm-hmm.
But a lot of them have kind of found that, and that's where you're seeing this higher level coaching and athlete dynamic where you can coach them in a mid-match scenario.
With quick words.
Right? And it's not so much, you're not locking them in mentally. You're talking through them technically, right?
Quickly.
Because they've already got it mentally.
You say like
They're-
one or two things.
whether
and-
they're down or up, you're talking to them technically because that's what's irrelevant in the match. We shouldn't have, it's not that we shouldn't, we have to do it because we're coaches. But the ideal position is that we're not talking to them to make sure that their mental state stays on point through the match.
Mm-hmm.
That needs to be taken care of on their own.
Mm-hmm.
That's what we're teaching now. It's so that way when we do coach during the match, we can coach technically.
That's it.
And that's it.
Half.
Right.
Base.
We don't need to be stay tough. We don't need to be coaching those things.
No.
We need to be coaching. Watch that front leg. He's crossing his feet. You
Yeah.
know, like whatever it is. But to go back, that's why we're being so thorough, or we're attempting to be very thorough with the mental aspect, is so that way we can get that dialed in. And it's going to take a few years, but eventually it's built into the culture, and the older kids help reinforce what we're teaching. We still go through the same principles every year, but we won't have to hammer them in with the same force and repetitiveness from us, where it feels like it's all on us doing it. It's because it's going to start coming from the kids.
Yeah.
Right? Start
Well, I mean,
trickling
that's
down.
the whole goal with the journals. I noticed when you took them over for the pre-match routine, I only saw like 2 or 3 journals.
Yep.
Again,
Because
it's
they're
year
not
one.
Mandatory.
It's year one.
It's year one.
The kids will make it mandatory.
They will, and
Hope.
that's the key. Yep.
Hopefully, the kids
And
that
I
brought
think
them,
we should make them mandatory because it wouldn't.
it feels like homework.
Right. It. For it to really, for this stuff to really work,
You have to wanna do it.
They have to make the step on their own.
I know,
Right.
but we can get to a point where if a kid doesn't have a performance journal,
But
we
they
can.
want to get better. It's like, well, where's your performance? journal?
Right, we don't have to coach you.
How are you supposed to get better if you didn't even write anything down?
Yeah.
And you're coming to me and asking how am I supposed to get? Because I know what you can do, but you don't even know.
You don't
where you
know.
can start.
Well, and that's like those questions after a match, like, "Hey, what did you think of the match?" And they can't remember the match, and you're like, "I can't go anywhere here, because all I'm going to be regurgitating is areas I think you need to improve on, but you can't even remember those areas.
Right.
So it doesn't even click. You're like, "Oh, I need a whizzer," but you can't even remember where you were when you didn't whizzer, and why? You know what I mean? Like, it's all it's crazy to talk about this after 10 years of coaching and finally see how important that mental side is with how we phrase it to each other because we're in sync. But like, just that right there. How can we coach you if you don't know what you're doing? Like, if you can't tell me the position I'm trying to coach you. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like, it makes sense to us. I'm just trying to, for our audience, like, what's a good way to put it? Like, I can't teach you a technique or how to fix your technique if you can't even tell me where you're at
Right.
in that technique. If I tell you to shoot a double leg and you're grabbing one leg, but you can't tell me you're only grabbing one leg, how am I supposed to coach you?
Right. So that's the gap, right? Is we know that the gap is from the mental side and writing things down, and that's where you can start to pick apart and make your improvements. But they're negating all of that, and they're coming to, after the results happened, how do I get better? How do I not achieve those, or how do I keep from
Losing.
losing? Thank you. That's only coming after the result. And oh fuck, I'm
Yeah.
just losing myself.
No, that's the okay. Let's go.
But
I'll gap is, this is where the mental side is. This is the result. This gap of how to get to the good result starts with the mental side. But
there we go. There we go. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah. So we're trying to teach this part. And we're like, hey, this is what it is.
Oh, it'd be this side for our audience.
Right. This is what it is. But in order to get the result you want, you have to do this part. You got to focus on the mental, being more aware. When you're more aware and you get your pre-match routine, now you're more clear. And then when you're more clear, oh, I can actually remember what happened in my match. I'm not fog brain the moment the whistle blows.
And like the other, not to keep asking the questions, but this, maybe we can end on this question, but like, when kids come to practice and they're practice room heroes. I was a practice room hero in college.
Me too.
They go to practice and they wrestle like a different human being than when they go out and wrestle a match. What's the difference between the two? There's a result.
Mm-hmm.
There's something holding our hand on. And this is where the book I'm reading. How can we get the same wrestling from practice to here? That's what Inner Game and Tennis went over, right? Like that self 1, self 2. We need to always be wrestling in self 2.
Mm-hmm.
And we are in practice, but self 1 takes over at competition.
Yeah.
And we have to get rid of self 1.
Yeah.
So now our goal is, as coaches, how to do that. And these books have kind of showed us performance journals, clearing the mind, pre-match routines, breathing exercise, all these little techniques we can teach them. And that's the thing, like, no one has ever taught us that. So we're learning on our own how to teach this. And we think we're onto something because there's just these few books that have kind of opened
Shed some light on some things and open the door a little bit. Because there's a technique for a high crotch to a different type of finish, right? Whether it's a dump, a double, whatever. There's techniques for the brain.
Yeah.
We have more techniques for the brain. Honestly, we probably have just as many for the brain as we do for wrestling, because those are two things that have been on this planet forever.
Right.
Like humans have been dealing with trying to figure our own selves out for ever since we've been here. And so
physically and mentally.
So to toss that off is foolish. Right?
It is. It should be, right?
It's just foolish.
We're right. Right?
Right. Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
But just to wrap up, I feel like we've got plenty more to discuss, and
I think we can go over times we've experienced things in wrestling and in our lives, and how wrestling has helped us, and how even we would maybe approach certain things differently based on what we're preaching now. I think there's a ton in that.
Though we've been coaching for years, I almost have a feeling of kind of an infant, being in an infant stage.
Oh,
you know?
this is year one in my mind.
Like, yeah, totally. Like it.
You know what the other
This
years were?
is
Those years made up for the lack of competitions we had. Right? We were talking about we only had 4 years, 3 years. What
our lack of being an athlete.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So all those years of coaching, we learned new technique. We learned new styles of wrestling. We learned new footwork. Learned new hand fighting drills.
Hundreds of tournaments.
Hundreds of tournaments.
Saw thousands of matches.
Thousands of matches.
Thousands of pre-match routines. How kids approach. How kids.
But like, but even before that, like we were living vicariously through the kids as athletes, and we were coaching technique.
Mm-hmm.
So we really these last 12, 13 years have been getting our technique that we missed out on, because I started in 7th grade, you started in, let's say, 8th grade, whatever. Like, we missed out on those years of technique. Our years of coaching have got us kind of there with, we can kind of go teach anything, technique wise and setup wise and conditioning wise. But now we were at this spot and now we're trying to teach this spot. So I think we're at year one. We've kind of reset. We're new coaches. Mm-hmm. We're fresh out of the college room. Mm-hmm. We know the technique. We know how to work hard. But now we can teach these kids how to get the end result that we couldn't get. Or didn't get. Not couldn't get, I should say.
And at bare minimum, even if they don't get it, that they like use what they're learning, right?
Hopefully.
Because there's different mental aspects that we are trying. Not different.
No, but
they're just mental aspects that are very important and
well, think about your pre-match routine. When I brought up in that session, like, how do you prep for a math test? Like, you can use these same kind of techniques that we're teaching: deep breathing, quiet time, what you're going to eat for breakfast. That, like, you can make routines for anything to help your mind get clear to do your self-2. Mm-hmm. Self-2 doesn't mean you're in some sort of athletic competition.
Yeah.
Your self-2 could be...
You're still there for it.
Yeah. Yeah, you're not unconscious.
Not unconscious. It's subconscious.
Yeah. But, like, you can overthink anything. Your self-1 gets involved during a time... Think of emergency situation. If you sit down and think, you might die. You got to react and that's why, like, Navy and stuff, they have these routines that they go through and they practice every day, these drills of emergency drills, all this kind of stuff. It's because so when it does happen, it's second nature. It's going through the motions.
Yep. Military is huge on that. That's why they do drills and test runs all the time. I work with a few Navy guys, ex-Navy guys, but yeah, I mean, every single one of them tells me that they could do their basically, I don't know,
emergency protocol or something.
Right, whatever test run that they're doing or emergency practice run through that they're doing, they can do it with their eyes closed. It's just
still to this day.
Nature.
I'm excited, dude.
I'm excited too, man.
Hopefully this take took. Watch I go over there. It's not recording. I would be a little upset. But thank you for anyone who ever watches this. There will be editing, lots of editing on this one. You might have some weird cuts, but we're learning. Just like we're learning how to be the best coaches. Thanks again, and leave comments of how bad our studio looks, how bad we are with Bible knowledge, whatever you want, If
you have different topics you want us to discuss, whatever.
Yeah. Thank you, guys. Peace out.
Peace.